gelatin from Latin, gelatus meaning stiff or frozen, is a translucent, colorless, flavorless food ingredient commonly derived from collagen taken from animal body parts. It is brittle when dry and gummy when moist. Gelatin is nearly tasteless and odorless with a colorless or slightly yellowish appearance. It is made from animal collagen, a protein in animal connective tissue, which is seen in skins, tendons, ligaments, and bones of animals. These tissues are boiled, dried, and treated with a strong acid or base, and finally filtered until the collagen is extracted. It is then dried and ground into a powder to make the gelatin. If you are not comfortable with these animal products, but if fish products are fine, then use isinglass instead of gelatin. It is a kind of gelatin obtained from fish, especially sturgeon. Gelatin works by the same mechanism as isinglass, but because of its amorphous structure, it binds less strongly to yeast than the highly ordered helical structure of isinglass. Due to this, gelatin is generally considered less effective as a fining agent than isinglass, and is usually only suitable for beers served from vessels that are not disturbed much, for example, cellar tanks. An advantage about isinglass is that it will work even in 10 degrees Celsius or more, whereas gelatin has to be cold crashed to work well, and also the protein molecules formed in gelatin are smaller than that formed when isinglass is used. Thus, the protein clumps formed are also smaller and do not settle out as well as seen in isinglass. This is an observation by some of the brewers, but many are willing to swear by gelatin on the other hand. Vegetarians who totally avoid food products derived from animals can use alternatives of fining agents derived from plants, which include the seaweed extract, agar-agar and carrageenan, and biofine clear and polyclarten. But if you totally want to avoid adding any of these fining agents into your beer, then the simplest way to clarify is to cold crash it for a couple of days and then transfer it into a keg and leave it alone for 3 to 4 weeks for particles to settle down naturally in your keg. Following which you can transfer it into another serving keg and then carbonate it and serve. But if you are really impatient and cannot wait for 3 to 4 weeks, then a more aggressive method needs to be used, in which we have to use fining agents starting from kettle fining agents like Burfock tablets in your wort to fermentation fining agents being added directly into a fermenter. Post-fermentation or even keg fining agents like gelatin, isinglass or polyclar or others. Since this video is about gelatin, let us talk only about gelatin. It's a good idea to cold crash your beer before adding gelatin. Any temperature between 3 to 10 degrees Celsius, that means 34 to 38 degrees Fahrenheit, is good enough. The idea is not to freeze the beer, but to cool it down to as near freezing temperature as possible. When mixed with water, gelatin creates a thin, positively charged solution. When added to the beer, it attracts negatively charged particles like yeast and protein, which clump together. Their collective mass helps them settle to the bottom of fermenter or the keg. Let's now look at how we can use gelatin for clarifying beer. There are a couple of methods widely used with minor modifications. I have tried both with equally good results. Let's look at the first technique. For example, let's say we are going to brew a 5-gallon batch of beer. So here I mix 1.5 teaspoons of non-flavored gelatin with 1.5 cups of filtered water. 1 level teaspoon of gelatin may weigh around 3 grams. The general recommendation is to use 1 gram of gelatin for every gallon of beer. So for a 5 gallon of beer, use 5 gram of gelatin at room temperature and let it sit for 20 minutes to bloom. Some authors suggest to mix it with the tip of your thermometer to dissolve, but in fact, as we can see, it doesn't dissolve so easily. Then heat the water to 65 degrees Celsius or 150 degrees Fahrenheit to get the gelatin to completely dissolve, which is key. Make sure it doesn't boil, in which case the gelatin will denature and not be effective. Be sure to check the water temperature as we don't want it to go above the recommended value. Once the recommended temperature is reached, you can let it cool down to room temperature and use in your fermenter or the keg. Let's look at the method number second. Again, this is for a 5-gallon batch or about 90 liters of beer. As the general recommendation, we use 1 gram of gelatin for every gallon of beer. So for a 5-gallon beer, we use 5 gram of gelatin. This is my preferred method, and I usually boil my water for 2 to 3 minutes for sanitization purposes and let it cool down to 65 degrees. This cooling down will happen in a few minutes because the quantity of water is less here. I use a probe to check the temperature, and once it shows 65 degrees Celsius or 145 to 150 degrees Fahrenheit, I put in the gelatin. But try not to exceed this temperature at any cost, as then the properties of gelatin as a fining agent will be lost. Once I have reached the recommended temperature range, I add the gelatin. Since it is already boiled and cooled to the recommended temperature, I am sure that the water is sterile. I do not bother to mix it in as I told you before. It is difficult to do so. Once I have added the gelatin, I just cover it with a sterile lid and leave it for around 15 to 20 minutes. By which time the gelatin would have dissolved completely and the temperature would have cooled enough to pour into your beer. The third method is to use a microwave. Here for a 5-gallon batch, I use 1 teaspoon of gelatin with half cup of cool water, then microwaving it in short 7-second bursts until it reaches 60 to 65 degrees or 145 to 150 degrees Fahrenheit. I would also stir it with the end of a thermometer between each burst. Once the required temperature is reached, I cool it and use it in my beer. Gelatin can be added into the fermenter prior to racking into your keg, or it can be added into the keg prior to serving. Both the methods give good results. I like adding gelatin into the fermenter because it is one less step after kegging the beer. Plus, as I mentioned, if you add gelatin to the fermenter and you are not 100% happy with the clarity of your finished beer, you can always add a little bit more into your keg. Once your beer has been cold crashed for 1 to 2 days, you can add your gelatin. You need not stir it in actually, especially due to the chance of oxidation. Just pour in your gelatin without much bubbling would be enough for it to mix well. Once you have poured in your gelatin, let the beer remain in the cold crash temperature for another 2 days, following which you can keg it. So, always remember to add gelatin after your primary or secondary fermentation is completely over, because gelatin will make all the yeast present fall out of suspension and the yeast will settle in the bottom and no further fermentation will happen. Thus, very little yeast will remain in your fermenter. This beer bottle will not have enough yeast to eat up the priming sugar to give the necessary carbonation. You have to be aware that bottle priming with sugar may not always give the required carbonation after using gelatin in the fermenter, because most of the yeast that remained in the suspension after fermentation will drop to the bottom of the fermenter after cold crushing, and the remaining yeast in solution will combine with the gelatin to drop to the bottom of the fermenter. But this is not the case if you are force carbonating in a keg. If you are pouring the gelatin into your keg instead of your fermenter, which is better if you ask me, then you can carbonate the headspace of your keg and give it a shake to mix it if you want. But do not carbonate the keg at any cost. Just give a blast of carbon dioxide in the headspace to prevent oxidation, or do a close transfer or a pressure transfer to the keg. At any cost, never try to carbonate the keg with gelatin, as the carbonation itself will disturb the sediments and the purpose of clarification will be lost. Let the keg remain in cold crash temperature for 1 to 2 days, following which you can transfer it into your serving keg and carbonate and serve. In case you have only one keg, Then you have to draw off a couple of pints from your keg after 1 to 2 days. Gelatin and yeast that would have dropped to the bottom would be pulled out during the first couple of servings, following which you will have clear beer, and then you can carbonate your beer and serve.